Hey, it's your girl Bree. Welcome back to a new video. And this is gonna kind of be a mishmash of my week. So basically, I'm gonna have some update on my envelopes for my money savings binders, and you are going to help me set up a new system for my books, because if we're doing booktube, we're doing book talk, we're doing bookstagram, we're doing all the book things, then I need a system for my books. I have books. I don't have as many books as some book content creators, which is fine. There's no amount of books you're supposed to have. I read a lot on my Kindle, so a lot of my books that I have are electronic books, but I do love a physical book, which is why I still go to the library. But yeah, to help me with my book organizational system, I'm doing two things. One, I am using the app that a lot of people know about and use already, which is, I think it's Libib? Libib? I don't know. It's, I'll insert a screen recording, but it's basically you can create your own library, and you can title it whatever you want. You can organize it however you want. And they actually recommended something to set it up, which you can scan cute, like actual book barcodes with your phone, obviously, but I wanted something that they recommended. And because I've worked in retail my whole life, I've been obsessed with these. You'd think I'd be over it because I've worked in retail my whole life, but I treated myself because there was a super crazy sale on Amazon. I treated myself to a barcode reader. Also because not only do I need this for books, this was not just a book purchase. Not only do I need this for books, but as you know, I have an Etsy shop. And in order to kind of keep track of my inventory of the stuff that I make so that I can put it up on the Etsy and like sell it and have all the stuff that I've made be organized, I'm going to scan QR codes off my products because I'm working on making tags for everything. So it'll be really easy for me to keep track of my inventory. So this is a twofold like investment basically. So we have our our scan code reader, and it just comes with the scanner and a cord, and it just plugs into your computer. So I'm going to set that up this video. You're going to help me, and then we're going to inventory my books and figure out how we're going to organize them. When I opened up the Excel spreadsheet that you get from Libib, I still don't know how to say that. It has all of these different columns with like title, author, description, ISBN number. So that was really helpful. I thought I would have to scan into a notepad and then copy paste it into the Excel. But then I realized that I don't have to do that. I could just scan directly into it. So here you're going to see me scanning some stuff in the the UPCs, and filling out all of the different columns. As you can see, this area is where I'm thinking I want the bookshelf to go. It's like an inset area to the on my side of the bed, where it's like, I didn't measure, but it's this much deep, and then I think it's at least 48 inches across. And I already have my movies there on 2 shelves, so I'm gonna take all that down, and I think the movies I'm gonna put on my bookcase, on the top shelf, and then I'm gonna get, I think, some like, I don't know what kind of racks they're called. I'll insert a picture here. But people normally use in like garages or whatever, but I did see a couple people on Instagram who built shelves in their house, bookshelves, and they use them because they're like adjustable. So we're gonna go to Home Depot, we're gonna look for stuff, and I'm gonna take some measurements and then take all this stuff down. But yeah, so I have to get the rails, some kind of support beam probably for the top, adjustable shelf part, like what the shelf sits on, and then the shelf itself. And I think I want to do 3 shelves to start off with, because the rail I'm planning to get is adjustable. I could potentially go as many shelves as I want because it normally has like holes for it, but I haven't figured that out yet. But I think I'm gonna start with 3. Okay, so as I mentioned, I am going to start clearing out this area. I'm gonna take all the stuff off here, and then I'm gonna start taking down all my movies. I got one of my collapsible milk crates that is actually really coming in handy, that I got from Daiso like last year, that I'm gonna put all that stuff in, so then I can take the shelves off the wall. Now you're gonna watch me take all this stuff down. So enjoy that.
Just to get the job done. This is it.
Okay, I am back from Home Depot. As you saw from the clip, I got these, which are different than the ones that I have for the ends. These are the 12-inch adjustable wood shelving ones. I'm going to use those in the middle. And then for the shelf itself, it doesn't really show up on camera, but it's like a light wood. It's actually the color driftwood, it says. I got it in a 12-inch by 36. These are that the shelf fits on, and they are 12 inches. This was the shortest one they had at the Home Depot that I went to. So it sits in this, and then I got the rail part, which is 48 inches, and it's gonna go like long ways down the wall. And then I got the hanging track, which is like the support thing that these rest on here. So this screws into the wall, and then this hangs on this little lip part, and then these hook against this. So it is now time to put the crossbar up there, and I don't know how high up. I probably should be professional and use like a laser leveler, which I did borrow from my dad, but I also kind of just want to get this done. So as I'm sure I don't have to tell you, this is not a tutorial. You should not do anything that I do because I'm not a professional. If you want a tutorial, you should follow like someone else. I don't even know who to tell you to follow. I am just doing things the way I think these should be done. Wish me luck. So see you after I get this up on the wall. So after I entered everything into the Excel spreadsheet, I went to the CSV import and I found the Excel, and then I uploaded it. And it took a little while, but it pulls up all of the categories that you filled out. So the title one, the creator one, description if I put anything, the ISBNs, the groups that I put, the tags that I used, different notes that I put. And it has all these categories, which obviously I didn't use all of them. But once you're done doing that, you scroll all the way to the bottom and you process import. And then it sends you an email once it's done. This part I kind of jumped the gun a little bit. It was still importing, but I wanted to see what it looked like. So these are the books that were already finished uploading and importing, but it wasn't complete. I didn't get the email until a couple minutes later, but as you can see, it has the cover art, it has it listed alphabetically, and I think it turned out pretty well. So I'm going to use this system going forward to keep track of all the books, and I'm going to add more categories to help me with organizing as I go along. For those that were interested, here's an update in my savings binders. I took out some 20s and a 5 and some singles. And then I have them in my little bill divider. So first up, I'm doing my 26-week savings challenge, and I'm up to week 3. I actually had to restart. So I did week 1, week 2, and those are filled. And then I'm up to week 3 and I have to put in $45. So let's get those bills. And they're going to go in the little slot there. So I get my 2 20s and a 5. Fold those up so they fit. I do a tri-fold. It really doesn't even matter. But actually, in this part, I didn't do a tri-fold. I just did a regular fold. Slip that in the envelope. And I'm going to update my total here. So the first week was 15 plus 30 plus another 45. So after 3 weeks, I have $90. in that binder. Then I'm going to move on to my 100 envelope savings challenge. And I've been using just Google random number generator to pick how much I'm going to enter into this particular binder. And this week, although I didn't screen record it, it said that I'm supposed to put $23. So that's how I'm going to put. I take my 20. Go to where I need to go in the binder. Hopefully nothing falls out. It has fallen out a couple of times. But yeah, we're on 23. So I take my 20 and I take my singles. That's it for that binder. And this is the finished product. I have 4 shelves. They are all double stacked, meaning there's a row in front and a row in back. And these are my books. So I managed to get all my books, except for my library books, in one spot. The library books I intentionally left where I used to have my books. And I'll show you that right now. So the library books are down here. Which obviously makes it easy for me to get to quickly after I read it, put it in my library bag, drop them off at the library. So this will be the designated library shelf going forward. Let me explain to you my system. So very top shelf, which I could try to zoom in on, I guess. Let me see. Very top shelf up there is my collection of books that I have already read. So there's 2 rows of books that I've already read from authors that I very much like, but I've already read them. Second row with the plants on it are books that I have already read, except they're by my favorite authors. And they're kind of sets. Third shelf, this is my filing system. It might not make sense to anyone except me. Third shelf are my favorite new authors, and they're pretty books. So you can't see them, but in the back I have all of the Ruinous trilogies. I have my Kennedy Ryans. I have the rest of the Elsie Silvers. So the ones that are actually in the front are ones that I need to read from my favorite authors. So it's those. And then my 2 pretty copies of these 2 books. Actually, I have to read Leave Me Behind. I haven't read it yet, but my pretty copy of Caught Up. So third shelf is my pretty shelf. And then finally, bottom shelf are my physical TBRs that may or may not be pretty, but basically once I read them, I'm going to move them from the bottom shelf up to the second shelf, if that makes any sense. It makes sense to me. That's my filing system. But yeah, so these are my physical TBRs. And the process took me a little bit longer because, as I already showed, I was setting up my Libib. I still don't know how to pronounce that account. So I was scanning everything with my scan gun and putting the ISBNs with the descriptions and authors and all that stuff. But yeah, this is my bookcase. I'm very proud of it. I'm super excited. I feel like having all of my books in one spot is just like gonna be the best thing ever for me. And then I also moved, ignore the bonnet, I've also moved my books I've read, my little physical mini books, to be underneath the bookcase because I just love that. And then I have my crochet stuff here and my plants. So all good stuff. And then over here where the books used to live, I've moved all of the movies that I have up here. And then my mangas or comics are over here. And then I have some sets, movie sets, TV show sets. And then I just have my Once Upon a Time book vase that I need to get some flowers for that my crochet heart is currently sitting on. I have some figurines that my niece got for me. Got some propagation plants. And then I did change this shelf. This is where my TBR gumball machine lives. But I'm thinking about moving the figurines that I have behind this plant I'm thinking about moving the figurines from this shelf to this shelf where the comic books are, because to me it makes more sense. And then just moving the comic books down to the bottom shelf. But let me know what you think. But yeah, thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. See you next time. Bye.